The Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever both have 2 wins. There's not a world where that should ever be a thing right now. All right? I don't give a shit if Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are out. I would say Sydney Colson, but let's be honest. She's been completely benign.
Angel Reese is out here chuckling like she just uncovered that the Fever's entire playbook was crafted by a GPS stuck in recalculating mode. Meanwhile, with Caitlin Clark sidelined by injury, the team's offense has spiraled into a full-blown identity crisis. No spacing, no flow, just awkward vibes and missed layups everywhere. It's like watching 5 strangers scrambling in an escape room with no clue what to do. And Angel, she's savoring every moment like it's front row seats to a premium comedy show. Without Caitlin, the Fever don't look like a basketball squad. They look like a group project that's spectacularly falling apart.
Swings, there might be a team worse out there than the Fever. And the Chicago Sky have officially tied the Indiana Fever. The Chicago Sky are officially 1 choke off being what I predicted as a 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Indiana Fever, a squad packed with so much young talent, you'd swear they were engineered in a lab dripping with championship DNA. With stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston leading the charge, plus hype enough to fuel a small nation, you'd expect nothing less than dominance. Yet, here we are, tallying just 2 wins on the board, the exact same as the Chicago Sky. And yes, that Chicago Sky, the very team treating Angel Reese like a pinball, bouncing her around positions like a Roomba lost in a maze.
Any of these players were being interviewed when Coach Steph White was being interviewed. All they said was that the Indiana Fever brand of basketball was going to be a fast-paced basketball, and I feel like we have yet.
Was supposed to be the face of fast-paced basketball. But this season's chaos has been so wild, she might as well have a Dramamine sponsorship. Benched, shuffled, rotated. She's been tossed around lineups like a toddler fumbling with NBA 2K controllers. One moment she's a starter. The next, she's sidelined like an extra in a CW basketball drama. And yet, there she is, laughing on the sidelines like the Joker who just caught his favorite sitcom rerun. Despite her personal whirlwind of basketball limbo, the Indiana Fever somehow remains stuck at her level. Now that, my friends, is pure comedy gold.
But this year, with Tyler Marsh salute, keeping Angel Reese further away from the rim, being a point forward if they're still doing this experiment, the bettors needed to change it up. The bettors needed to find something else that is surefire, and I think they have found it. Day 6 of Angel Reese missing her first shot. Day 6. These guys, as the kids would say, oh, they're diabolical for sure.
With a talent like Caitlin Clark, you'd expect the Fever to be blazing through the league like a 5-alarm fire. This is the same woman who shattered college scoring records as if they were made of glass and stale breadsticks. The Fever hit the jackpot landing her, a golden lottery ticket, yet somehow decided to run their offense like a chaotic group chat, loud, messy, and ultimately going nowhere.
So Caitlin Clark had 27 points, 11 assists in their second game. They lost by 1 point. They were down by a lot, but they lost by 1 point. Caitlin Clark again solidifies why she is the most important player in the WNBA, the best player in the WNBA. She followed up her triple-double with a double-double. Now, if I'm doing the math, that means she's averaging 20 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds. The GOAT. She's averaging a triple-double.
Let's not overlook the Caitlin-sized elephant in the room. Yes, she's injured and sidelined now. But even before that, let's not pretend the Fever were steamrolling through the WNBA like basketball's Avengers. They were struggling, flailing, barely holding on in tight games. Close losses may feel like moral victories, but at the end of the day, an L is still an L.
Hey guys, so Fever lose, and basically every organizational deficiency that we knew existed but kind of papered over was laid bare for everybody to see. Post play, non-existent. They were out-competed, they were out-hustled, they were out-rebounded. Just defensively, we were all over the place. Couldn't hit a shot to save our lives. We ended up shooting under 39% for the game and 20% from 3. But really, the big problem is that we just are the backup point guard position. We don't have a catalyst.
What makes this whole situation even more absurd? This isn't some expansion squad made up of mall clerks and retired gym teachers. The Indiana Fever are stacked. Caitlin Clark's playmaking, Aaliyah Boston's paint presence, shooters who can actually knock down shots, defenders who can lock it down. And yet, somehow, watching them is like seeing a Ferrari stuck in reverse during rush hour. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky are holding it together with nothing but duct tape, post-it notes, and Angel Reese's social media presence. She's not exactly lighting up the scoreboard, but you'd never guess that from all the noise she's making. This is a woman whose stat sheet might as well be sponsored by the number 4 and the word inefficient. Yet, she's sitting courtside, throwing shade like she's averaging 30 and 20. The Fever's offense might be sputtering, but Angel's confidence? MVP level. And of course, she's laughing, because what else can she do? When the team expected to lead a new era of WNBA dominance is barely keeping pace with her own season-long train wreck, it's like watching the Titanic roast the Hindenburg for not having enough lifeboats.
Best off-season in terms of bringing in new talent. Caitlin Clark is a year older. Aaliyah Boston's a year older. There's more familiarity with this team. And then you get veterans like DeWanna Bonner and Sophie Cunningham. This team is legit. It's for real. And if they don't win a WNBA championship, people can say what they want, but it will be a failure.
Want to talk coaching? Let's dive into the Fever's coaching decisions, because when you have this much talent and still can't crack a W, maybe it's time to close the playbook and consult a Magic 8 ball. Some of these rotations look like someone asked ChatGPT to draft a starting 5 based solely on astrology signs. And don't get me started on their late-game execution. The Fever treat clutch moments like they are trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. While the Fever are melting under the spotlight, the WNBA's media machine is spinning out of control like a broken carousel. Before the season, every commercial, tweet, and press release made it clear. This was Caitlin Clark's league. They rearranged broadcast schedules, rebranded marketing strategies, and pointed every camera at her like she was about to walk on water. Now, the cameras pan to Angel Reese doing TikTok dances while the scoreboard looks like a crime scene. Caitlin's absence was supposed to be the dramatic pause in a symphony, but instead, it's become a full-blown existential crisis. Ticket sales are dipping, viewership's dwindling, and WNBA execs are probably chewing stress balls right now. She was the golden girl, the savior, the ratings jackpot, and now she's wrapped in ice packs while the Fever scramble desperately to find their dignity.
Time you see a 2-4 team with this kind of talent, and look, the Fever's got a hell of a lot more talent than the Chicago Sky. Anytime you see that, that's a coaching issue. When you got that much talent, you only have 2 victories.
And what about Angel Reese's laugh? It's not just amusement, it's pure strategy. Even while she's putting up performances that would make a junior varsity coach wince, the world is still watching, still talking, still reacting. Her stats might scream rookie slump, but her presence screams headline. And really, that's all she needs. If her team's stumbling just as badly as the league's most hyped squad, then who's really losing here? But let's circle back to the Fever, because that's where the real drama unfolds. This team should be dominating. They should be the ones clowning everyone else, not the other way around. With their size, speed, and skill, they should be unstoppable. Instead, they approach each quarter like they are solving calculus mid-dribble. The game plan feels like, get the ball to Caitlin and pray for a miracle. Without her, it's just chaos in uniforms. Meanwhile, the Sky are holding it together with less talent, fewer expectations, and what seems like an endless supply of blind optimism. No one expected them to be good, so being mediocre feels like a win. The Fever? They were supposed to shine. Now, they are the team everyone hopes to face when they need a get-right game.
Angel Reese. Guys, how many times have you heard me say, if Angel Reese gets a double-double, the Chicago Sky will lose a game? It's almost clockwork. If she does not get a double-double, guess what? They're a lot more competitive and/or they win the game.
So yes, Caitlin's out, but the Real injury might be to the WNBA's pride. They gambled on a golden ticket, and so far, it's come up empty. Not because she isn't incredible, but because one player can't carry a franchise that doesn't seem to know how to carry itself. Meanwhile, somewhere, Angel Reese is laughing, not because she's winning, but because she's not alone in losing. And in the ruthless world of elite competition, that might just be the biggest win of all. Take Angel Reese, the supposed queen of the post, who's had a season so baffling even her own shadow looks confused. She's been shuffled around like a game of musical chairs, starting here, benched there, posting numbers that make you wonder, is this really the same Angel Reese? It's like watching someone try to juggle flaming basketballs on a unicycle. Only the flames died out, and now it's just sad, clumsy chaos. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, armed with a roster that should be steamrolling the league, have somehow managed to win exactly as many games as the struggling Chicago Sky. 2. Yes, 2. That's the same number a toddler might count to before losing interest and crawling off to eat crayons. The Fever have all the tools, all the weapons, but instead of lighting up the scoreboard, they are lighting up Twitter, leaving fans wondering if their talent took a vacation and forgot to send a postcard.
Yeah, the league is feeling it. And honestly, this could be some get back, man, at how terrible the refs have been, how terrible the WNBA has been, how ungrateful the WNBA has been towards Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
You'd think with names flying around like hotcakes in a breakfast diner, this team would be racking up wins with the kind of confidence that makes opponents sweat through their jerseys. But no, the Fever are dishing out nail-biters and controversial calls that leave refs clutching their whistles like life preservers in a storm. And sure, some calls have been downright questionable. Hello, did that really just happen? Moments. But that's not enough to explain why this much talent isn't lighting up the scoreboard. It's like watching a high-budget action flick where the hero forgets to bring his superpowers. Now here's the kicker. Angel Reese is sitting back, probably with a smirk, watching it all unfold. How, you ask? Despite her own on-court struggles, the bench time, the position shuffles, the bewildered look when the ball doesn't come her way, her team, the Chicago Sky, is locked in a tie with the Fever. Yes, the Chicago Sky. Reese looks like she's still trying to figure out the game of basketball for the first time. Yet her squad is just as successful as a team that was supposed to be an unstoppable force. That's the kind of cosmic joke that makes you double-check you're not stuck in an alternate universe. Now, let's talk mindset. Angel Reese, in her 3rd season, was supposed to be a dominant force, a rising star who makes defenses rethink their entire strategy just by standing near the paint. Instead, she's become the poster child for what's going on here. And yet, somehow, she's still laughing. Maybe it's nervous laughter. Maybe it's laughter at the absurdity of a season that defies all logic. Or maybe, just maybe, she knows something we don't. This season is one giant experiment in chaos theory, and she's the unwitting star.